Beauty, brains, a son revolutionizing the tech industry. Mae Musk has had quite the life, but it did not come easy.
Mae is 72 years old. She is the world's oldest supermodel. At 71, she was the CoverGirl brand's oldest model. She is a force to reckon with. She was a born adventurer. I bet you have heard of her children. Tosca Musk, the filmmaker, Kimball Musk, the restaurateur, and Elon Musk, who is today probably the most famous entrepreneur in the world.
At what point as you were raising him, did you think there might be something different about this little boy?
From the age of 3.
Really?
He just reasoned with me so well, and I didn't know how he could figure out things. I mean, he was 3. Mm-hmm. And then I sent him to school early because and they said, you can't send him, as the youngest person in the class. And I said, he really needs other stimulation as well. And the nice thing is that he took what he could do and actually implemented it.
I think when I was, 5 or 6 or something, I thought I was insane. Because it was clear that other people did not. Their mind wasn't exploding with ideas. It was just strange. It was like, and strange.
When you move to a new city or a new country, you know nobody. I work for myself, so it's not like I had colleagues around me. And it takes you a while to get friends or meet people and to build up your practice so that, my kids were eating peanut butter sandwiches for dinner, and to be able to actually buy a chicken, once a week to have some chicken and potatoes and vegetables. So that was always a thrill. So you look forward to good things like that.
Can you tell me what you did when you were raising them that made them the way that they are today?
Well, I think it's similar to my parents. They were working all the time. I only saw them at 6 o'clock in the evening for dinner, and they just made us independent. We started working for them when we were young. And in the same way, my children were helping me, and they were very aware that I had my practice at home and they need to be well behaved and do their own homework because I didn't have time to work with them. And they were really good kids. I was very lucky. They followed their own passions and they all went in different directions. When we moved to Toronto, my funds were blocked. So I was a research officer at the University of Toronto, so they could have come there for free if they studied, or very little, if they studied medicine or law. But Elon and Kimball wanted to study business, and then Elon went on to study physics as well. Tosca wanted to study film. So they had to get their own scholarships, they had to get their own loans, and they had to support themselves. And they did it.
What is the best gift you think you gave them?
Well, I think I was strict, and they tell me I was a pushover. So there you go. Yeah, I think being polite and considerate of others and doing good for others, I think they saw that as a dietitian. They saw me doing that, and they all do good things for others.
What was it that helped you to make that turning point from being in that marriage to getting out on your own?
Well, you stay married for the sake of the kids, and then you get divorced for the sake of the kids.
Right.
I ran away with the 3 kids. It does mean that you may get no maintenance. You might have to cover their school fees, but then if they go to public schools, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You feed them peanut butter sandwiches for dinner, but you come to a happy home.
Right.
And that was more important. Be happy with your children. Their children do come first, and you need to work really hard to be able to support them.
Yeah.
And that's just, teach your children to be independent and responsible for their own decisions that they make, and to behave well and help you in the home, When I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment while I was continuing my studies, and my kids were in the bedroom and I was in the living room kitchen, and it only cost me 77 rands a month, which was like $77 a month. But again, it was early 1980s. And, it was, we didn't have a problem with it. My children never complained, and they even said it was quite fun, and, you figure out things.
As I'm reading A Woman Makes a Plan, there's a very intriguing story about Mae, about how when she got her first paycheck, the first thing you bought was a carpet because you had no chairs in your apartment. So you just got a carpet so your kids could be comfortable. And then the second thing you bought was a computer for Elon and Kimball to sit on the carpet and play with that computer. Elon said something about how he wanted to see if he could live on $1 a day. And he found that living in an American dormitory, he could live on $1 a day. He'd just go buy ramen noodles and he could survive. It gave him the courage to do all of the other epic things he did in his life.
When my brothers and my twin sister read my book, they said, we didn't know you were struggling. You never complained. You never asked for money. I said, well, what would I ask for money for? To go to the movies or go out for dinner? Those are luxuries. I would ask if I needed it to pay the rent or to pay the schooling, then I would have come to them. But the public schools were very inexpensive in South Africa. So, and in Canada too. So I didn't really need money for that. I didn't need money. I only needed it for luxuries, and I can do without luxuries. I was working too hard anyway to even go out for dinner.
Your children aren't just building businesses. Your children are building businesses that are actually, in a way, healing the world, right?
What I consider they're doing good things for other people.
Yes, they're doing good things. Like Elon wants to move the world beyond a carbon economy. He wants to back up the human species by colonizing Mars. Kimball is doing so much good work in terms of organic farming and farm to table.
And they were always good to me and kind and hardworking and supportive. So I had a huge advantage over many women who don't have that. But you can't get up every morning in a happy situation and know that will never end, because that's how I was at the time. And I thought it will never end until they changed the laws in South Africa and I could get divorced for irretrievable breakdown of marriage. He spent most of the time on the computer and then published he wrote his first computer program at 12 and then published when he was 13 and he got 500 Rand, which is like $500.
If you just accept the probabilities, then that diminishes fear. When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%. And I just accepted that.
Yeah, my children don't have fear. In the beginning, when the rockets were exploding, I would just want to curl up and cry in the corner, whereas Elon would come out and say, now we find out what went wrong and we will do the next one right. And I thought, what's happening here? So, my children don't have much fear, so it's great.
How do you ensure that your grandchildren who are born in luxury, in wealth, still have that survival instinct?
You know, my grandkids are really well behaved and they aren't entitled. And if I hear any cheekiness at all, I will catch them right away. I will not tolerate disrespect or selfishness or being mean. I just jump right in on that.
At this point in your life, as you look back, happy?
I'm at the happiest